Thank you, Nikita.
It's too loud. A brief and long introduction, and the most tough time for me post lunch. So I can see, I think, a good mix of people, some young batch, some mid and seniors. Schedule 3 is the ask today to understand. Before my presentation starts and come on a screen, I'll take few minutes on the transition phase of our presentation model. So as she mentioned about my profile, work in industry, how exactly the industry looked at the balance sheet, what did they want in the presentation. And probably 10 years back I thought of it's kind of a reverse version of myself, that I have spent enough time in industry and I want to come to the profession, which is my liking subject, which is audit and assurance, and especially in the finance field. So I have been handling this Schedule 3, which is Division 2 and Division 3, to be very precise, much before it was introduced in India, because IFRS and US GAAP was prevalent. And as she mentioned in my profile, where I was with Deutsche Bank obviously has the IFRS, the presentation requirement. So that's where we used to have it. Of course, what makes a change is the accounting standard, what is required to apply in terms of the actual accounting. This presentation is becoming a unilateral for across the globe, that how exactly we present our financials, which is acceptable in global. And that's where this entire concept of transition started happening from 2013 and onwards. So as I mentioned, the most tough job, I have to keep finding flaws, what is happening in the balance sheet, and keep you awake for next 1 hour. So keep listening and keep asking the questions, so that probably it become interactive for you all and me also to engage you. So I'll start the presentation. Common pitfalls. Obviously the name suggests is why pitfalls, meaning the whole objective is where though we make the balance sheet, but there are certain nuances which we misses in our presentation. And obviously I'll use the word inadvertently, but law is law. Ignorance of law is not permissible. So I'll put it that way. We as a chartered accountant, if you are signing any balance sheet, it has to be in compliance with Schedule 3. As you all know, Schedule 3 has 3 divisions, Division 1, Division 2 and Division 3. Division 1 is for the balance sheet. Anybody want to say? You want to speak? What is Division 1 for? You don't know. Very good. Anybody on the last? Okay, 3 divisions we all know. If unanimously yes, no answer comes, then it will be helpful for me to take you through. Otherwise, okay. So the presentation of balance sheet, which is defined in the Schedule 3 of the Companies Act, and this Companies Act has 3 divisions, which is 1, 2 and 3. The presentation is different for 1 and 2, and 3 specifically for the NBFCs. Division 1 is for the company who is following the accounting standard, which is kind of old accounting standard, 29 plus 2 recommendatory. And Division 2 is for all the Ind-AS standard, where it is largely for the listed, largely for the subsidiaries of listed, or the companies whose net worth is crossing the limit of applicability of the Ind-AS standards. And Division 3 came up, is an extension of Division 2, states that for the NBFCs and certain categories of the companies for which this presentation will be required, and this is largely from a cash flow point of view. So the waterfall in the historical time, to sir, if you say that, where I have also studied, is a T-shaped balance sheet. The T-shaped balance sheet was always on the right hand side. You have an asset which is falling from, which is the liquidity asset coming from top. So it was on the other side. The top one was the illiquid asset. The fixed asset used to start from the top, and then you go down and you have a liquid assets, and last it ends with the profit and loss, debit side of the profit and loss and expenditure. This is becoming vertical, and this vertical balance sheet has the similar flow, but in a different categories, compartment which has been defined. So why pitfall? Last 5 to 7 years, you must be hearing a lot of noises around stating that balance sheet to ban jata hai. पर उसमें ये प्रेजेंटेशन नहीं है, वो प्रेजेंटेशन नहीं है, ये यहाँ पे दिखाना चाहिए था, ये यहाँ पे दिखाना चाहिए था. एंड व्हेन यू आर अंडर द lenses of the regulator may be RBI being NBFC, the regulator may be Companies Act being MCA, the regulator may be IRDA, they have their own presentation, the regulator may be CAG where you are doing a CAG audits. These all regulator see your balance sheet microscopically with the pitfalls, that what went wrong in your presentation and which is not done. If you ask me उसमें क्या हो गया, मतलब कुछ नहीं दिखाया तो क्या हो गया, फ़र्क क्या पड़ता है, फाइनेंशियल इम्पैक्ट है कि नहीं है. Gone are those days it is just only mentioning about the financial impact. It also talks about the presentation which is true and fair, because we are signing in our audit report stating that true and fair view of the balance sheet, which is not only the numbers but also the disclosures, and which is well defined in Schedule 3. If you read Schedule 3, it has the format and it has the general instructions. So there is a list of general instructions below which needs to be adhered to when you prepare the financial statement. And that's where the topic is, where probably I have touched upon largely the areas of the balance sheet which has the requirements of disclosure in the balance sheet, which has the requirement of some notes which is required. And that's where if you not, then it becomes a pitfall. That will become a quality of the balance sheet which will be questioned upon. And these days, just to start with, Institute has started their peer review in which it has been reviewed. There is a QRB board, quality review board, which is separately reviewing independently any of the balance sheet you would not have thought of also. There is one email pops up in your mailbox stating that I have picked up your balance sheet for the quality review and you give me your information. It is not like a peer review which is scheduled audit. It is a QRB board who has a right to do that in any fashion. And last but not least, listed company NAFRA, who has all the powers to do all the balance sheet which comes in this way. So to start with, this is just the general gyan of format of financial statement revised, taking the cognizance of the situation, which is Schedule 3 came up in 2013. It was significantly amended also after in 2021. So I think after that it has been going smooth. General points, how do you read my presentation? If you read it, it will be long, but some red line is all pitfalls. In the entire presentation, if you see, red lines are all pitfalls. What are the common mistakes which you are making? So what I request you all to take away is those red lines from me, because बाकी सब तो balance sheet में होगा, presentation में होगा. So you see the red lines, and while you are making presentation of a balance sheet now onwards, listed का तो हो गया, but unlisted, SMEs and all you will be doing it. Keep in mind as much as possible of these red lines and it will help you. The common mistake in the terminology of security premium account, which used to earlier called as security premium reserve. This word reserve has been replaced with accounts because in the act it is mentioned as account. In terms of the borrowings, you are supposed to bifurcate between long term and short term. So it is mentioned if the long term borrowings are secured, the nature of security needs to be mentioned in the balance sheet. So when you make a notes, in the notes if you have a long term borrowing, you are supposed to write the borrowing, nature of the borrowing, which security you have given against the borrowing, what are the terms of that security also you are supposed to reflect in the financial statement. Third bullet is purely for the reflection. If it is the short term borrowing, under the short term borrowing you are supposed to write current maturity of the long term borrowing. So you have to bifurcate your long term borrowing when there is a schedule of payment. That schedule of payment needs to be bifurcated between short term and long term. Anything within 1 year is short term, it needs to be reflected separately. These are not happening in many places, hence this bullets which is to be remembered. Specifically for division 2, as I mentioned, only for Ind AS, how many of the group here has presented the balance sheet in Ind AS? Then it becomes more relevant for me to speak. You? So only 2, 3. Majority not. That means this Ind AS applicability is to the class of the assets which is over and above 250 crore or listed companies. So little irrelevant for the group, but yes, for the sake of knowledge, lease liability needs to be separately disclosed compulsively. Many of y'all who have not presented in division 2 may be having a question, lease liability naya kya hai? You used to pay rentals and expense out. But there is a new concept in Ind AS where you are supposed to, I would say, recognize the asset as well and liability as well, and that is where this lease liability. So you are supposed to show under lease liability in current and non-current, and that's where this disclosure required. So my presentation is mix of all, division 1, 2, 3. So probably some of them who are not too familiar with division 2, 3, please raise your question if you want to. I'm happy to answer. Again the same thing, division 2, the current maturity of the long term as I mentioned, which is required under the division 2 also. The third one is on division 1, schedule 3, originally fixed assets. He is now translated into property, plant and equipment. And as per the new disclosure requirement, the intangible is also become part of that. So now it's property, plant, equipment and intangible assets which you are supposed to disclose. Please remember in your disclosure, this all comes under one umbrella. So you have to have A, PPE and B, intangible. But the broad head remains the same, which is property, plant, equipment and intangibles. The word tangible is gone, replaced with property, plant and equipment. The word fixed asset is gone, it's replaced with PPE. The common error, which I have not mentioned but is just coming in my mind, people change in the format, but accounting policy में वही रहेगा. वो fixed asset originally fixed asset ही रहेगा, tangible assets ही रहेगा, because historically is registered in our mind as the tangible and intangible thing. So please keep in mind. One change in the long term, meaning other non-current assets. So I'm giving for the benefit of the crowd. Earlier it was a current assets and non-current assets. Now there is a word which is introduces other non-current assets. So then the non-current may be other non-current assets you have to do. And under that, if you have given a security deposits for your rentals or whatever purpose, this needs to be reflected separately as security deposit. It is must. Item number 4, the following should be inserted, namely the trade receivable outstanding and aging schedules can be given. If not aware, this is compulsory for all the trade receivable and payable where aging schedule is to be given. Now the question is what it helps. It actually helps for the presenter to understand. अब तक तो हम दो चीज करते थे, debtors हो गया more than 6 months and less than 6 months. Very simple way to show our debtors. There is a pitfall in our presentation, I would say. Debtors more than 1 year, is it a current or non-current assets? Anybody? Debtors more than 1 year. So आपकी current और non-current की definition का मतलब क्या है?
Credit cycle of more than 1 year, non-current.
Correct. तो credit cycle should be more than 1 year. पर काफी लोग की तो नहीं है.
My credit period is only 180 days or 30 days. He is defaulting.
Correct. तो आपके लिए asset current है क्या non-current है? That's my question.
Current है मेरे हिसाब से.
है तो current. I am saying the asset realizability is crossed 1 year. So आपके लिए वो defunct asset है in a technical sense. That's why you make a provision. So the question here is, that's why this aging came into picture, that the reviewer or reader want to know that आपकी balance sheet में aging कितना है, because वो एक number से पता नहीं चलता था. So as you mentioned, वो the buckets which has been given now, 6 months to 1 year, 1 to 2, 2 to 3 and 3 and above. So now you show the picture in trade receivable and payable that how much current asset or your current capital has been blocked, and for the reason then they will be obliged to give the question on that. I don't know whether I have covered in that, but ratio analysis is compulsory in the schedule 3, all the balance sheets, ratio analysis. So in the ratio analysis, very pertinent point comes up now. If you have a percentage which is put in your balance sheet and the percentage deviation happen more than 25%, then you are supposed to give answer why it is moved. And that's where this correlation helps, because कारो का एक clause 19 है. Anybody who want to give a try? Caro clause 19.
Related to going concern.
Slightly, not related to really going concern, but somewhere near.
We have to comment on the current maturities and current ratios.
Good, perfect, very nice. So many correlation I am putting with one point, that particular clause 19 wanted the auditor to report in their report stating that whether the company will have the ability to pay next year's liability from its own source. So many onus is casted on us. वो तो काम मैनेजमेंट का है, पैसा है नहीं है उनके पास, ऑडिटर को करना है. एंड इफ यू से हाँ है और नहीं दिया तो देन यू आर गॉन. इफ यू से नहीं है देन यू आर गॉन, बिकॉज वो तो रेजिग्नेशन देना पड़ेगा आपको. बोलेगा मेरे बिजनेस में तू जवाब देगा कि भाई मेरे पास पैसा नहीं है. हु आर यू टू डिसाइड? आई विल फाइंड आउट मनी. That's where this ratio gets connected. You are supposed to give a reference of ratios, that based on these ratios I feel, because you have to give your opinion, you can't give right or wrong answer. So that's where the aging will help. Another point, last is bond debentures forming part of the long-term borrowing must be disclosed in order of maturity and conversions. Must item, if you have a borrowing by way of debentures, when you disclose your debentures, it can't be haphazard. It has to be in the form of the maturity pattern, which is the longest, then shortest, and wherever the maturity keeps moving. The another disclosure which is required must for the debentures, largely for the companies who are issuing debentures, is they have to put the terms of the debentures. What is the term, when is the maturity, what is an amount, and all that you have to. There are many convertible debentures also, you have to put the convertible debentures also. Convertible debentures also, which will be putting. Next, each item on the face of the balance sheet and statement of profit, cross reference. Common pitfall bolo ya common error which we make it is, sometime you don't see पीछे number change हो गया तो face पे change हुआ कि नहीं. It has to be cross linked because now it's all Excel based, so it has to be done. Even the smallest error of casting which is happening in many places we've been seeing, where face of the balance sheet never matches the number with the schedule due to some of the other error. Some numbers in the balance sheet link through your trial balance, some link through some working, so that cross referencing is always getting errored. So be mindful about this. Cross referencing is must. Another thing, I'm comparing again, see accompanying notes to the financial statement. कहाँ लिखते हैं हम ये? Bottom of the balance sheet and P&L. Which earlier the word was little different, but here now the word is very specific. Account writing, see accompanying notes to the financial statement. Under the heading general instructions and the preparation of the balance sheet, the word was earlier total turnover. Now the word is substituted with total income. So which are very very small changes. You may feel इसमें क्या हो गया, but this is what is required as per the law, the format which you have to abide by. So under total income, then you have income from operations, then you have the other income. There are only two heads now. You have to show your income only under two heads. One is from operation and one is from the other income. So total income is the word instead of a turnover. Again, इसके implications काफ़ी है in terms of disclosures, because when you give in your tax audit, you will give a good reference. In many other places where you have to see turnover में क्या है, then you can clearly define. That's why it becomes a total income. Earlier पहले टर्नओवर मतलब जो टोटल है वो टर्नओवर हो गया, but it is never the case. Very simple example of that, income from fixed deposit is never a part of the turnover. तो पब्लिक ले लेते थे टोटल नंबर का. So that's how it used to happen. Operating cycle which you are referring, this is the classic case. Operating cycle differs from business to business. I agree. Anybody who wants to give a try, sugar industry, what is the operating cycle?
6 months, 18.
6 months. Somebody says 18. So 6 months is the right. 6 months because the cycle of operation is 6 months. So the management has to decide upon whether I really consider my current assets as 6 monthly or 1 year, which is in a general parallels which they do it. I think most of them follow 1 year, but the operating cycle is 6 months because their factory works for 6 months and then 6 months is shut. Likewise, many industry have the different operating cycle. You are allowed to do that operating cycle definition. What is required is in your policy. When you in your policy write up, there are number 1 and number 2. What is number 1 and what is number 2? Anybody wants to give me answer? In your policy, when you see the policies document, number 1 and number 2. Number 1 is corporate information. चलो मैं आंसर दे दिया. Correct. You will give the corporate information where what is company, when was it registered, what are they into. If there is NBFC or something, they'll give a registration number and so forth. You said the answer. Basis of preparation. So first you start with basis of preparation. What are the content of basis of preparation? Bullets. हाँ.
Current and non-current classification.
वो तीसरा हो गया. First क्या होता है? You rightly said it. This is third bullet, I think, third Roman number or whatever you call it as. So first is basis of preparation, how exactly you put it, the assumptions which you take it. The third is the current non-current definition, and fourth, the largest one, and the fifth also now. Sorry, it will come in the subsequent slide. The fourth largest one is the operating cycle. You are supposed to define your current and non-current definition. So the reader will come to know when I read this financial statement, what is the operating cycle. So accordingly my current and non-current assets can be kept in mind. कि ये इंडस्ट्री है जिसका 18 महीना है, so everything I have to think from a 18 months point of view. And necessary notes needs to be put accordingly. So come back to that table of the debtors. If your trade cycle is 18 months, then less than 6 months is not my worry. 1 year is not my worry. Anything crossing 2 years, then it starts the worry. That's how you have to read. अगर वो information नहीं होती तो reader को पता नहीं चलता. So that's why there are a lot of things which is more of a disclosure, but for the reader, the analyst uses to the T. Analyst will rip your balance sheet apart based on this information and asking all the possible questions in their analyst call. So, okay, coming back to here is what you mentioned is right, and the last point in that preparation is the new thing, which is part of the Schedule 3 requirement. Recent amendments in Schedule 3 which has come, I am sure most of us would have read. He is disclosing your financial statement in round off. And that you are supposed to write in your preparation of the financial statement. So various round offs, you can do it 100, 1000, depends on companies more than 100 crore, less than 100 crores. So they have given that. But round off is compulsory. The biggest pitfall. You can't prepare your balance sheet now without rounding off. Compulsory. So the minimum round off is 100. वो कोई पढ़ नहीं पाता है. I also struggle a lot if you put a balance sheet in hundreds, and this become very difficult because historically you've been tuned to read 3 comma 2 commas. तो वो पढ़ नहीं पाते हैं. But the minimum is 100. So at least make it in 1000, but compulsory hai. If any balance sheet is picked up, it will be considered that it is non-complied based on the requirement. Is the determination of the operating cycle mentioned in policy? I just covered. So what is operating cycle? That also I covered. Nobody has mentioned definition of the operating cycle of liability. Anybody want to give a thought? मतलब you would have seen current assets का cycle. Liability का क्यों नहीं है operating cycle?
Indicators.
Any current liability.
Exactly. For 3 months, 6 months, even 18 months.
नहीं पर हम define नहीं करते.
Textile trade, it is more than 6 months.
Correct sir. So my question is in disclosure में define नहीं करते तो क्यों ऐसा होगा? कुछ thought है उस पे?
Circumstances prevail.
Okay. Anybody want to decide?
रेशियो इम्प्रूव हो जाएगा अगर लॉन्ग टर्म लेके जाएंगे.
नहीं my question here my question is we define the current assets. Operating cycle is linked to the current assets largely they say, but actually current asset and liability दोनों है. So ज़्यादातर लोग ध्यान नहीं देते current liability पे. क्यों? क्योंकि हमको पे करना है. इससे बनिया बुद्धि which you get into, हमको पे करना है तो पे करेंगे आराम से. करेंगे. लेना है तो जल्दी चाहिए. पे करना है तो आराम से करेंगे. That's where the operating cycle. So my question here is, as you rightly said, is ratio improve हो जाएगा. That's the thought process of the management. There also they put a cap by the disclosure, putting the table for the current liability also, especially trade creditors, where they wanted the aging to be given, and they want to see what are the creditors. And these days is very very important. क्यों? Because so many companies getting into default. NCLT and NCLT केस में COC मीटिंग में पहला देखा जाता है वो लिस्ट ऑफ क्रेडिटर्स. ऐसे कोई पूछता है पहले क्रेडिटर्स कौन क्लेम है, and that's where you will come to know कि ये इतना पुराना क्यों है. If my reading goes, the whole reason of getting this Schedule 3 amendment is somewhere connected with all the NCLT orders, because whenever those balance sheets have gone to them, they could not decipher the balance sheets कि ये इतना गंद कैसे मच गया balance sheet में जो आज बाहर आ रहा है, because it was never presented to the investor, never presented to anybody, stating that we have accumulated the liability so long that now we are realizing that I am unable to pay. So keep disclosing. There are so many places where this aging is compulsory. Any other aging which is required in the balance sheet? Anybody want to give a thought?
I said, working from CWIP.
CWIP, yes. Anything? Very important one, huh? Another one also. Maybe I don't know whether I've covered, my team has covered everything. Huh?
Gratuity में what to do?
नहीं gratuity मतलब वो तो था पहले से, but no, not as a part of the disclosure. Share application money you can't keep beyond a period, no. 1 year के बाद रखोगे तो it will be considered as
Intangible assets.
no one second. Question here. Share application money तो क्या बोला जाएगा उसको? No. No.
Loan.
No. My goodness.
So your question is on.
My question is, Madam said the share application money is required to be disclosed in the aging, the way 6 months, 12 months and all. She said that if the share application money is lying with us, then it is required in a columnar form of aging, correct? I said no, it is not required. But my question, extension of her question, and for the knowledge of us, if I have a share application money which is crosses 1 year, is it allowed? First question.
Share application money is only for 60 days. After that, if there is any unpaid money, it has to be transferred to the government.
And
No.
It should
Or
be
refunded.
shown
First
separately
refunded.
in the balance sheet.
Perfect. That is when you have received the share application money, it needs to be shown separately. So till the share application money changes the color to equity, it lie in the separate. That's a presentation requirement. यहाँ पे है कि नहीं पता नहीं, but you are right. Section 73
deposit advance from customer. So that's what I was coming.
is not advance to
But
customer.
that is also aging is important when you have advance from customer
Okay.
more than 1 year outstanding.
Okay. So coming to only limited requirement, under the rule of deposit, any money which is received, there are list of things. It's called deemed deposit. It will fall in the deemed deposit. Please do remember, these things happens in all small balance sheets, SME balance sheets. अभी पैसा ले लो, पैसा चाहिए, इक्विटी मत देना, शेयर एप्लीकेशन खड़ा कर लो, and then we'll adjust later on. Anything beyond 360 days will be considered as deemed deposit. Once you get into deemed deposit, that means whole lot of regulations, whole lot of your compliances will come. Directors अंदर जाएगा, और वो तो वो हो गया. Compounding penalty बहुत लंबी है. Please keep in mind, because as a natural I would say allegation practice of Indian I have seen is, आपने हमें बताया नहीं. The ball will come in your court that you are the CA, you are supposed to tell me that I am not supposed to keep more than 60 days. मैं थोड़ी लॉ पढ़ता हूँ, मैं तो मेरा बिजनेस करता हूँ. The ball will come in your court. वो बैलेंस शीट जाएगी कहाँ पे भी. Tomorrow MCA will pick up, and these days MCA is also sending the notices to the chartered accountants and penalizing them. I'm sure many of us would have seen such kind of a messages alert by MCA penalizing the chartered accountant, stating that you have not disclosed this particular item in current assets, which is, ought to be a current assets, only on a disclosure. You just Google it after my call and you see it. Only for disclosure, MCA is now penalizing the chartered accountants. I don't know. उसका कोई फाइनेंशियल इम्प्लीकेशन एज सच तो नहीं है फ्रॉम अ बैलेंस शीट पर्सपेक्टिव, पर यू हैव नॉट डन योर ड्यूटी एज पर कंपनीज एक्ट एंड एज पर योर इंस्टीट्यूट. Common pitfall in disclosure of Schedule 3, certain things. Notes to account stated the company's operating cycle 6 months. So compulsorily 6 months नहीं है, you can elongate it based on the actual cycle. So the sale contract provides for a normal credit period of only 45 days. The company doesn't expect to receive the payment within 12 months from the. So that's what I said. Okay? Generally the cycle doesn't meet, so that's why you have to keep in mind how the trade cycle will happen. current asset category. MSME 45 days payment rule. Anybody want to? I am thinking much talked about rule in Feb March. Where every client would be calling the CA. मुझे क्या करना है अभी? क्रेडिटर्स का पैसा ही नहीं आ रहा है. What will I do? क्रेडिटर को पैसा देना है, मुझे देना पड़ेगा. Otherwise 43B लग जाएगा and all that. The history, I think, to my knowledge, goes in 2-3 years back where this MSME become very prominent. One, we used to only disclose in our balance sheet is other than MSME and others, right? The trade payables in that category. They were given little more color. Section 43BH आ गया last year, where if you don't make a payment now for your creditors, which is reflected in the balance sheet, within 45 days after the balance sheet, then the whole amount will be disallowed. Now, how do you identify that? The onus is on auditors again. That in your balance sheet you are supposed to identify. How will you identify? Anybody? MSME कैसे identify करोगे balance sheet में?
इसके invoice पे लिखा होता है.
Invoice पे लिखा होता है. Okay, fine, good. आप?
And then confirmation.
Client has to be receive the confirmation from the supplier.
Perfect.
Through external confirmation, maybe when we send the external confirmation, we write whether we are MSME or not, so directly we receive.
There are two ways in my mind.
Yes.
One is that as the management, how they take comfort that they are dealing with the vendors or MSME or not. So when they create the master database, I mean when you have first transaction, that time only you do all these procedures. And from the auditor's point of view, yeah, exactly. You check from the management. At the
So
same
this
time,
and this both have given the perfect procedural answer to safeguard ourselves. Procedural answer I am saying, safeguard ourselves. पर ऑडिटर्स के पास कैपेसिटी नहीं है 100% एक्यूरेट होने की. Obviously you have to rely upon the process which you mentioned. If you have a sophisticated system, you will have in the system mentioned that this is MSME. These days, while doing adoption of the client or a vendor, KYC norms you follow, you will have a Udyam certificate and you will do the Udyam certificate ka tagging in your balance sheet or in your vendor master somewhere. It pulls you out. So as an auditor, but as sir is rightly saying or just some gentleman said, their duty to tell us that हम है कि नहीं, तो वो तो गया काम से, आपको मिलने से रहा. Even if you go with them, invoice में देखोगे तो कितने invoices देखोगे? अब तो सैंपल चेक करोगे ना सर?
छोड़ के पूरा.
हाँ जी.
कहाँ से मिलेगा?
नहीं अग्री, हम तो सैंपल चेक कर रहे हैं राइट. तो हम सैंपल 10 चेक करेंगे, 100 चेक करेंगे, तो उतना 100 का ही प्रयोजन होगा.
That sample we see when they give a master and that invoice that is matching or not matching.
So then that's the procedural thing.
Yeah.
Correct. So that you do the sampling. That if the client has that data, अभी मैं क्वेश्चन है client के पास नहीं है डेटा, आपको बैलेंस शीट देनी है, यू आर सपोज टू साइन, बही खाते पे सही तो मोदी जी ने बोला हमें ही करना है, तो क्या करोगे?
सब प्रोसेस के बाद नहीं दिया तो नोट डिस्क्लोजर आता है बेस्ड ऑन दैट इंफॉर्मेशन प्रोवाइडेड बाय द मैनेजमेंट.
चल जाएगा.
क्या करेंगे सर, कल पूछ नहीं दिया तो आगे तो कहीं तो एंड करना पड़ेगा.
ठीक है. That is that the end? That's the start of your career. एंड तो नहीं है वो.
Any site is available where we can find out.
सर आप मतलब सॉरी टू से दैट आपकी एज और कितनी आगे जाएगी पता नहीं फाइंड आउट करते करते. Impossible task. This is a very toughest call, job, but yet thrown on us. So there are ways to do is how best you see the process, how best you take a comfort of the process, and then you throw upon obviously one good savior for the large corporate, not the MSME. I would say is something called MRL. Right? Anybody MRL? मैनेजमेंट का ले लो, बराबर है, ठीक है, तो बचाता नहीं है, बट ठीक है, इट गिव्स अ ओनस ऑन बोथ द साइड्स दैट यू आर ऑल्सो इक्वली पार्टी व्हेन यू आर मेकिंग द बैलेंस शीट. ऑफ कोर्स इट्स गवर्न बाय डायरेक्टर, सो डायरेक्टर इज ऑल्सो इक्वली रिस्पॉन्सिबल. सो लार्ज कॉर्पोरेट हैज दिस प्रोसेसेस एंड ऑल. माई पॉइंट हियर इज द डिस्क्लोजर रिक्वायरमेंट विच इज मिसिंग इन मेनी बैलेंस शीट इज वन टेबल. एनीबडी वांट्स टू नरेट दैट टेबल एक्सेप्ट यू? एनीबडी? One table which is must compulsory now to be given
Outstanding interest
and interest on it. What is the law?
45 days or as per the agreement with the MSME.
As per the agreement with the MSME
If
client.
it is a 15 days then
If there is no agreement, then 15 days.
15 days. If there is no agreement, then
Then payment should be made in 15 days.
45.
No, 15 days.
15 days, हाँ, then
As per
disclosure.
2006 Act.
6. Okay. And 45 days का. So it will,
Maximum 45 ही है,
हाँ.
अगर agreement भी 90 days हुआ तो भी 45.
so now the question is interest debit. कितने लोग करते हैं, कितने लोग के क्लाइंट करते हैं, चलो सॉरी लेट मी पूछ कितनी बैलेंस शीट के क्लाइंट जो एमएसएमई है और इंटरेस्ट प्रोवाइड करते हैं.
The corporate also not doing.
आई डोंट अग्री बट ठीक है, यू मे से दैट बट
नहीं,
where I am doing है, but ठीक है, anyway let's not get into that
We
debate.
identify, then we tell them to provide for that, it is as per rule, and then they provide.
Provide. Okay. And you are supposed to disclose. So simple requirement, let's restrict to our thing. Those who are not aware about this rule or requirement is we have to give a table, what is MSME outstanding, that should match with your number which you are disclosing in your note. वो outstanding के नीचे interest आएगा. Now the interest you are supposed to give is not only on the outstanding payable, it's during the year also. So you would have paid somebody during the year which is more than 45 days. वो भी वहाँ पे रिफ्लेक्ट होना चाहिए कि ड्यूरिंग द ईयर इंटरेस्ट कितना चार्ज लगा. वो एक डिफिकल्ट है, कौन करता है नहीं करता, आई एम नॉट गेटिंग इनटू इट, बट दैट्स द रिक्वायरमेंट आई एम सेइंग. एंड देन ऑल द थिंग्स विल फॉलो. सो यू हैव डिस्क्लोज, you are supposed to do the payment. If you don't pay, then 43BH will kick in. Next year का tax audit में वो भी disallow हो जाएगा and all that will start. Okay. So I have mentioned this point. Just a disclosure point, the wo information is missing in many places. This is must item to be shown as promoters information. How will you figure out the promoters? There is a definition given in Companies Act 269. They have defined, well defined who are the promoters, but it is must.
So,
Two requirement. हाँ sir.
if interest is not provided,
हाँ.
then qualification scenario will.
You can and you should. You can and you should, because you are, see, we are a statutory auditor. Our job is to comply with all the statutes which is required to frame the balance sheet. Any statute which is not followed, then you are supposed to put a note, qualify in your UM, or qualify the balance sheet also if you require based on materiality and disclose. It's must. I don't know, I have not heard so far anybody who is penalized because of non-such disclosure on qualification, but it may come. I don't know. With these days, the way it is going on, I don't know whenever you will be pulled up for that also. Because MSME Act बना है उसी के लिए to support those guys. Now, I will not get into the nuances of that piece. उसमें क्या benefit है और क्या उसमें भी अपने, but yeah, it is only for that. So that's separately shown as creditors, separately this. So you have to.
Also affect the internal controls.
Hmm?
It may also affect the internal controls.
How sir?
If the management does not have a process
Hmm.
to identify MSME.
Oh yeah, very good point. But it's only to the corporate.
No, because the moment you go into UM and qualification,
Yes,
you cannot escape saying internal control.
absolutely. I agree with him. But in your disclosure, what is required is, okay, good point. Just a generic question. In your report, Caro report, where or sorry, my bad. On auditor's report, where are you supposed to comment on internal control? Anybody wants to give a light? I am doing cross referencing. एक मेरा point था cross referencing, तो अच्छा रहेगा schedule 3 के लिए. I have some time because अच्छा है. हाँ बोलो. Anybody wants to give auditor report में internal control के ऊपर comment कहाँ डालना होता है? Don't give me exam verbatim, but कहाँ आता है? Sir touched a very valid point.
ICFR and main report में भी ICFR related पैरा है.
Very good, very good. So that's where under section 143(3) where you are giving the other information, उसमें एक clause है where you are supposed to comment on the internal control of the company. If the company is crossing some threshold, which is, तो उनको ICFR report देना पड़ता है. Threshold, anybody?
Internal financial control.
Yes sir. So 50 crore. So वो कंपनी को ये लगता है where you are supposed to give a separate audit report, a separate opinion on the internal control report. Otherwise you are supposed to put a paragraph, just a paragraph stating the size of the balance sheet के हिसाब से control ठीक है. बट वहाँ पे ये पॉइंट वैलिड हो जाएगा इफ़ इट इज़ रियली सो मटीरियल वेर यू फिगर आउट कि भाई इनके तो इतने करोड़ों के MSME है फिर भी नहीं करता है, तो एवरीवेयर मटेरियलिटी प्लेज अ रोल, सब्जेक्टिविटी कम्स. ओके, शेयर एप्लीकेशन मनी, मैम आपका पूछ लीजिए. शेड्यूल 3 इज अ स्पेसिफिक रिक्वायरमेंट फॉर डिस्क्लोजर ऑफ शेयर एप्लीकेशन मनी पेंडिंग अलॉटमेंट to the extent of non-refundable, refundable and pending allotment. So first point, not refundable shall be shown separately as a line item under head equity. मतलब आपने application money ले ली, the procedure is which is pending to just allot the shares, but it so happened that cut off date आ गया बीच में, तो आपने 29 मार्च को लिया है पैसा, तो भी बाद में दे दोगे, तो you have your allotment process and all happening, so not refundable. But suppose it is refundable, for some reason the application money खत्म नहीं हुआ, refundable हो गया, you can't show in equity, then immediately you have to disclose in your other current liability. And the third in the format is under other equity, a separate column for the share application money pending allotment is given. As I said earlier, somebody mentioned here, it needs to be separately shown. So it's not share equity, equity shares, preference shares, or in Ind AS balance sheet there are some other disclosures, but below that you are supposed to show it separately as application money pending allotment. Yep.
So on 29th March, for example, 100 CR share application money has been distributed. Okay, so it is oversubscribed. So actual subscription was of 60 CR, but 40 CR is oversubscribed, and the actual allotment was done on 2nd April. Okay. So as on 31st March, the 400 CR should be shown under the other equity, or 60-40 we can show.
Good question. I think to my mind, initially till the allotment is decided, till the allotment it is the entire amount of share application money under equity. Okay, not to be refunded. But what you said is oversubscribed. So I have to refund, and I don't know whom to refund, what is the amount to be refunded till it. But good question. I don't have a very frank, ready answer for this. But point is valid that I have only 100 crore to allot as an equity. What about the balance money which is lying? Second, that amount will have the component of share equity premium also, right? We are actually keeping entire money in share application. So we are not even allocating a share premium. So there is no bifurcation of that disclosure happening on the cutoff date. And your question, if I put it 100 rupees is my, let's say, share price, 10 plus 90, I am not even showing 90 as my share premium right now, because it has not taken the color of the share premium. So I cannot utilize it for all my net worth purpose. It is share application money. So I think keep it as share application money to my mind. I don't have an answer, but yeah, correct. You can say that. Certain disclosures mandatory. I will not delve into it, but these are missing in many balance sheets. ESOPs. Many companies have started giving ESOPs, listed, subsidiary of listed. They have started giving, even non-listed also started giving, because potential listing होने वाला है, startups है, ESOPs दे दिया. All this is happening. How many of you all may be aware there is a guidance note on accounting of ESOP? One. So there is a guidance note of accounting of ESOPs which is there, and it is to be read when there is an ESOP which is disclosed. So पहले तो ESOP पता नहीं चलेगा. So please do ask question, आपने ESOP दिया है क्या? Because ESOP दिखता ही नहीं है बैलेंस शीट में. It is out of the books. Only the scheme has been floated. The promoter has been given X number of shares. Future में आपको इतने shares मिलेंगे, आपको shares दे दिए अभी. तो shares का equity conversion भी वो vesting के time होने वाला है. So you will not come to know. So you have to ask the question, ESOP scheme है क्या पहले तो. If you feel, but आपको पता कैसे चलेगा? That's what I'm saying. Initiation of the thing. फिर वो सब disclosure. But that's where my point is. Right? Disclosure is must. ESOP हो गया तो ये सब disclosure compulsory है. So please be mindful, and especially these startups, boutiques and all which are started now these days. Modi ji has given a lot of boost to the ease of business thing. Movement in reserves, the compulsory thing which is required in the balance sheet to be shown in other equity as far as Ind AS is concerned, the reserves in general reserves, in the reserves and surplus, there are 3-4 categories. So one is the share premium account which I already mentioned, the other is general reserve, the other is profit and loss, Reventure redemption, the special reserves, all the special reserves you have. What is required is your addition and deletion, or addition and utilization of the reserves, which is required to be shown separately in each heads separately. Utilization of borrowing, the company shall disclose the details where they have been used. More of a caro point, and as a note point, if there is a borrowing which is specifically happened, then you are supposed to put in the balance sheet, ask them to put where this money has been utilized. So IPO is one of the category where you take money for the specific purpose, whether it is utilized for the purpose other than this. So one of the caro point, if anybody knows and remember, is one of the caro point also, where the money which is being borrowed by way of bank borrowing or an IPO, where it is utilized. Trade payable, common pitfall, one of the point. We talked about the aging. Aging चालू कब से होगा? For debtors or creditors, aging चालू कब से होगा? For debtors, anybody first?
Not due.
हाँ?
Not due.
हाँ. No, so my question is चालू कब से होगा? मतलब from when will you start counting the first day?
Due date.
Due
Due date.
Due date. And what is due date?
As per the agreement with the vendor, client or a vendor.
For the client or a vendor.
Client means there is a side.
तो अभी आप ऑडिटर हो, आप मुझे बताओ प्रैक्टिकली कैसे करोगे?
Agreement the bill में लिखा होगा 45 days or something, or there is a agreement.
I have got 30,000 debtors.
They update that the master
They update their master, and master में क्या update होगा?
transaction date होगा and credit period लिखा होगा.
Okay. So you've seen that master? पता है. ठीक है, one point.
अभी
Okay.
तो aging बनता है debtors के लिए.
एजिंग तो ऐसे भी बन जाएगा. टैली में बटन दबाओ तो एजिंग बन जाता है. The point is not that. Point is how will you technically come to the answer whether it is correct or not. That's my point. So due date is the question, and due date किसको बनाया जाएगा? So as far as you have an invoice, if no information is mentioned about the credit period, and the right word if I may use it, then for next day. If the credit period is mentioned, maybe 15 days, maybe 30 days or whatever, then first day after that day is becoming your due date. And then you have to do your sample testing, checking whether that accurately followed in the system or not, and then you rely upon it. But what is not due? Somebody said about not due. There is one column which is required of not due also. What is not due?
Income accrued but not due.
नहीं.
नहीं, but there is a
data which are within the credit.
provision.
Perfect. So what's mentioned is 0 to that day, where the first day starts, in between period is your not due. That needs to be separately shown. These are must requirements. Same as the case goes with creditors also. The creditors also aging happens in the same fashion, where when is your first due, when is your contract starts and all. So trade payable, date of the transaction else is outstanding from due date of the payment. Gratuity, again it is also mandatorily required to be disclosed in short term and long term both. Nowadays I think all the gratuity certificate which is coming from the actuary has all this information. One I would say pitfall I would put, or kind of maybe, okay, let me ask a question of gratuity liability जो आती है actuary से. So what do you do? Gratuity certificate ले लिया. What checks you do it in that?
We check the assumptions taken by the actuary, the
Hmm.
interest rate what he has taken,
Hmm.
and all estimates and the number of employees this month, the data what this company has and the data which he is mentioning is correct or not.
And उसमें से आपका काम का चीज क्या है?
And
Numbers, correct? So they give the numbers. The certificate should mention about whether these liabilities been derived based on accounting standard 15 or Ind AS. Anybody? ठीक है. Ind AS standard. चलो. So actually supposed to mention this as per accounting standard है Ind AS. And काफ़ी लोग ऐसे सर्टिफिकेट आ गया, उसमें जो नंबर है बैलेंस शीट में ले लिया, बैलेंस शीट नंबर मैच हो गया, बात खत्म. This is the right way of process as an auditor which you are supposed to do. Not only rely on that person, how exactly, the assumptions देख लो खाली. Now why my point here is, the common error which in liability creation which we make is to decide upon the term of the arrangement with the employee. Whether the gratuity is a part of your salary or is not part of your salary? उसका कोई मीनिंग बताएगा? Whether the gratuity is part of the CTC or not part of the gratuity, will it make a difference in your liability? This is just an additional tip. This is not part of the pitfall, but I am just saying. And I have seen it. This is the common error happening in many places. So I am giving this tip to you. Anybody who wants to throw a light on this? My question is very clear. Whether employer-employee engagement, when gratuity is part of my CTC or not part of my CTC, what difference it makes in creation of this liability, and what will you check in the certificate?
If it is part of CTC, then in the balance sheet there is a provision is required.
No. बैलेंस शीट में तो प्रोविजन वैसे भी चाहिए, वैसे भी चाहिए. Good guess. It's okay.
It will make the calculation of gratuity.
It will, but sir, how? That's what my question is. Rightly so.
CTC, then the increase in salary over the years, that will be considered by the actuary. The gratuity provision which comes, so that's calculated accordingly. Without CTC, the salary is going to be low.
मतलब I thought you are in the same line, but थोड़ा.
Basic salary.
Yeah, with this salary goes on.
Okay. So, how much is the gratuity as per Gratuity Act, which is allowed?
15 days salary.
20 lakh is the correct. So if it is not part of your salary, that means the maximum gratuity which is allowed to a person is 20 lakh. Whether you work for 5 years, you work for 15 years or 25 years, आपकी gratuity खाली 20 लाख. And if it is part of the salary, it will grow as per what you said. जैसे जैसे उसका ग्राफ बढ़ता रहेगा सैलरी का, और जितना लॉन्गिटिविटी रहेगा उतना उसका ग्रेचुटी बढ़ता रहेगा. सो इट मे हैपन दैट द सेम पर्सन मे गेट 30 lakh और 40 lakh एज ग्रेचुटी अगेंस्ट अ पर्सन हु इज नॉट पार्ट ऑफ द सैलरी. इज पार्ट ऑफ हाउ यू मेक योर कॉस्ट फॉर द एम्प्लॉय. मैनेजमेंट का कॉल है. What we as an auditor need to check is whether the actuary has considered that fact in your calculation or no, because many a times I have seen this is the pitfall of that particular thing where it is part of the salary, but वो अपना 20 लाख पे फिक्स करके बैठ जाता है. So to that extent your financial will be understated, and vice versa. Vice versa कम होता है, ज़्यादातर वही होता है 20 लाख पे फिक्स कर देगा, एंड देन फॉर एवरी एम्प्लॉय मल्टीप्लाई बाय 20 इज योर मैक्सिमम लायबिलिटी. जब पेमेंट करने को आएगा तो एक साल में धर सब निकल जाएगा.
You are saying this limit as per gratuity act or income tax act?
इनकम टैक्स एक्ट का है वो, ग्रेचुटी के साथ वो उन्होंने कोरिलेट किया तो मैक्सिमम वो मिलेगी आपको. इवन ग्रेचुटी एक्ट आल्सो द सेम 20 लाख.
तो अगर part of CTC नहीं भी है,
पार्ट ऑफ सीटीसी नहीं है,
तो company can give more than 20 lakhs also.
they will not give as a name of gratuity. They will give as incentive, ex gratia, whatever name they want to. This is my statutory liability. So as an auditor I am only responsible for statutory. तो मैं वो एंगल से बोल रहा हूँ. बाकी तो जितना देना है उसको दे सकता है, वो लॉयल्टी बोनस जो भी नाम देना
नहीं,
है.
मतलब what I am coming from is if company has a HR policy where it simply says that gratuity will be allowed.
Gratuity will be paid to you, will be paid to you on your retirement. There is a retirable benefit, right? We all know. So it will be paid to you as per the Gratuity Act. अगर Gratuity Act बोल दिया तो 20 लाख,
Gratuity act में 20 lakhs.
तो 20 लाख ही मिलेगा.
Gratuity act में
हाँ,
भी
हाँ.
Gratuity act में 20 lakhs.
Correct. हाँ सर.
There is a separate requirement for the audit of gratuity accounts. Okay. Now in that actually
Audit of the gratuity accounts.
yeah, when there is a
Trust. You are saying the trust. हाँ हाँ हाँ.
Yes.
Correct.
Right. At that time, actuary has given X number of, your liability as per actuarial rule is this much. But company doesn't provide for that.
Company, when you say the one we are signing,
Yeah, main company whose employees trust
हाँ,
we are talking about.
correct sir.
Right. So the company's account should this not be matter of qualification.
If I understand your question correctly and I can answer is the way, okay, how does this functionality works is the liability creation in the balance sheet. The retirable benefit of the gratuity needs to be funded and unfunded. You agree? That's the first point. If it is funded, what is left in your balance sheet? Is there any liability required? Let me ask you. Nahi? Nahi hai. Right? Because you are saying that I am immuning my liability against the fund which is required. Who is giving you fund requirement is those trust or maybe LIC or maybe whoever, right? Who is managing the fund. So you are immuning yourself with that fund requirement. Now this is unfunded. What you are talking is unfunded. In the unfunded case, the liability which you derive is the derivation of their actuarial science. थोड़ा अपने ऊपर से है. But thematically you understand. What do they do? Put the number of employees, attrition level, inflation, ये वो करके 15 साल के बाद इतनी liability होगी, उसका present value लेके आओगे तो X liability आ गई. And that you supposed to provide in your financials. So that's why your liability will match with what actuary certificate has given. Am I answering your question?
No, but company doesn't provide as much as
I think his
certified by
question
the
is,
actuary.
suppose
Heading.
LIC says this much is payable.
Yep.
In fact, above that you do an actual certificate, which has another liability. So the difference of that, if the company doesn't provide, if the trust has demanded so much money, which I paid.
Again, I am coming to that. Is trust demanding the money? Correct. Okay. So if I understand your point is, I put a numerical into this. Is let's say the liability as per actuary certificate is 100. Okay, and you want to keep it as a funded liability. Funded liability means you have to go to some trust or maybe some people who are managing your fund, gratuity fund, and they say you are not supposed to give me 100 rupees now. I'll give you that example is because the money will not come to you in one go, correct? So they will work as the probability of outflow. They will keep on making you investment today in a part so that you'll reach to the stage with the compounding of 7 or 8 or 9% where they are supposed to invest in largely GSEC. Now there are other permissible which has started coming. In that compounding there is a difference and that liability you are supposed to provide. Yes. Am I answering now? Correct? That's what sir he was asking. So 100 is my liability. The fund has asked only 40 rupees. I have given 40 rupees. So now my 60 is the balance liability in my books. Because वो liability और fund कभी zero नहीं होते. Unless you want to give everything in one go. But वो लोग भी नहीं मांगते because next year में मेरा 100 rupees देना आना ही नहीं है. It will come over a period of time when I don't know. So वो नहीं आता है.
In short, actually derived liability has to be provided.
In some or the other. But half is funded, so वो वहाँ हो गया.
It's okay. It's paid there.
That is
but the
actually
balance is
showing
provided.
liability and asset both.
Yeah. 100 and asset both. Correct. Common pitfall. I think many of the people show the net off.
Yeah, net.
Same way. The disclosure goes. That is mandate. Common pitfall of the borrowings from bankers, and this is the common one. There are many people insist upon in the financials, where when you borrow funds from banks, you are supposed to give them quarterly statement, book dates, debtors, and all that. If there is a mismatch, then they are supposed to disclose. We as an auditor have to report in Caro compulsively. And then many of people insist कि आप भी अपना management balance sheet में डालो कि this was the gap. So this is what the pitfall, where summary of reconciliation and the reason should be provided if there is a material discrepancy also. Let the management also take the onus of it. Yes.
So if the difference is on positive side,
Oh, अच्छा तो नहीं देना है.
so means because it is written only differences we have to mention. If in the stock statement submitted is of 10 CR and in books actually after audit it is 15 CR.
तो जरूरत नहीं है ना, मतलब I don't know. Question, मतलब what is required here is the theme behind this. What is required here is many a people what they do is they borrow against a stock and वो stock का जो statement देना है every 10th or whatever date वो CS certificate या खुद का management certificate करके submit कर देते हैं. The point here is do they have an actual stock on that day? कारो का जो point है, what is the कारो का point? Can you narrate what is the requirement of Caro?
Caro has told that there should be whatever they are submitting and it should be as per the books of account.
Exactly. So as per the books of account. Paper पे तो आप कुछ भी दे दोगे, right? What the requirement is books में उतना है कि नहीं वो certify करके दो.
Submitment actually came because of the companies largely started going into IBC and since I'm in solvency.
Yep.
When we used to handle this assignment, we used to find that there are a lot of
So that's why I said
transactions.
correct.
And things
So that's why I said कि वो NCLT में से ही ये सब काफ़ी चीज़ NCLT से ही पैदा हुई है. NCLT बिकॉज मुझे पता ही नहीं चल रहा बैलेंस शीट में कितनी गंद मची है, क्या कर रहे हो, बोरोइंग ले लिया, उसके अंडरलाइन तो कुछ था ही नहीं, बुक से पता ही नहीं चला मुझे कि इधर था. Many of us, मतलब sorry to say, but we know how to cook the book.
Yeah, I mean, it's not getting recorded, so we are only responsible, no? After all, we are only doing.
तो मैंने बोल ही दिया, बही खाते पे सही हम कर रहे हैं, तो हमारा ही है.
Question is that when in books the stock is 15.
15.
I gave to bank only 10. It is my DP limit के हिसाब से बस काफी हो गया, दे दिया मैं.
हाँ.
Nothing is impacting. Why, as he said rightly, it is a difference. Why we should see positive or negative? Why the company is not giving the correct picture of stock to the quarterly statement which they have to give?
नहीं, तो in your example you are supposed to give 15 or 10?
I am supposed to give 15 to the bank. I am giving 10 and my working limit is 15.
Because your limit is low, you don't want to give full statement to them.
I think this query is that. But I come to the question
So-
that there is a 50% variation in wages. So why we should see positive, negative
The
numbers?
question here is, if the theme of that borrowing requirement is whatever you have borrowed, see you would have borrowed from the same stock from 3 banks, possible, correct? So you may give one statement to all 3 or different to others. Who is going to reconcile what have you given there, what have you given here? If you have an ability to justify that, fine. Okay, point valid. That I have 50 crore of stock, I can borrow from 3 banks, 10-10 करोड़ का borrowing कर सकता हूँ, DP लिमिट तो मेरे पास इनफ है, मैं इसको 10 करोड़ 15 करोड़ का स्टेटमेंट दूँ, इसको 15 का दूँ, इसको 15 का. That's what your statement is. Now the point is, who will do and sit in reconciling these 3? Yours is, why should I give extra information? That's the point.
I am saying that I have given what his query is.
No, I think if I understand his query is, if I have borrowed 5 crores, the requirement of Caro is 5 crore. Agree? First point. Supposedly take a minimum case. I have borrowed 5 crores and as per the bank rule I am supposed to give him 7.5 crore का statement. Simplistic. But he said कि मैं उसको 10 का दूँ, it's a positive difference.
Because 10 का है.
नहीं है. Yet I am to present here because यहाँ पे रखा है difference होगा तो लिखो. तो positive difference में मुझे देना चाहिए, नहीं देना चाहिए, नहीं देना चाहिए. You are not supposed to give positive difference in this thing. The requirement is if the difference is negative. No, okay, sorry. The point is, whatever, whether you give 15 crore or 10 crore statement, is it matching with your books? That's the difference which is required. So the difference is between your statement which is gone is matching with your books or not. You are not वो ज़्यादा दिया उसका कोई सवाल नहीं है.
That interpretation they are not supposed to do.
तो वो हमें काम ही नहीं है. Your point is books में जो दिखता है वो दिया कि नहीं. So the question is, you are going on the audit at the year end, right? Year end पे books निकालोगे. You make your trial balance up to June and see June में stock कितना था और बैंक में कितना गया. That's where your difference comes. That's what the requirement is.
So positive difference होगा तो भी देना पड़ेगा ना फिर.
Whatever.
Difference is different.
The question is, now the question here, हाँ positive भी दे रहा हूँ. But
I have never seen any company giving positive difference.
that's what I said. Okay, positive difference. See, okay, what is your auditor's report requirement is, and the genesis of this particular requirement is, if there is a negative difference, then you highlight. कुछ अच्छा किया है तो क्यों है? But the question still remains. That's an internal control point. तो ऐसा कैसे हो गया कि आपने बैंक को 10 करोड़ दिया था और एक्चुअली बुक्स में 15 करोड़ था?
See, that will be a rare case where actually you would have a positive.
नहीं मैडम होता है. रेयर केस कुछ नहीं है. इंडिया में
नहीं मैडम, you are from IBC side, so you see this.
No. I can only put it this way.
I know Faro
We are master in cooking the booking. So सब कुछ possible है. But it's not we. It's all the SMEs. मतलब if you take their side, it is mandatory for them to do that. नहीं तो धंधा कैसे करेंगे? Whatever. We do our धंधा.
As an auditor,
Yeah.
I were to look at those two statements and find the difference.
हाँ.
The first thing I would try to look at is the audit trail.
But
Must have been statements or entries passed prior to.
वो तो सर अभी आया ना सर. But audit trail तो आपको टूल अभी दिया है.
नहीं, ट्राई अभी दिया है, लेकिन पहला चीज अगर in a good company, there would be an audit trail available. Actually, the first question as an auditor which will come is, boss, how could this happen? पहले 10 करोड़ का स्टेटमेंट दिया आपने
सर एरर
बैंक में
सर मैं लेट अस डिबेट इट सर एरर हो गया
फर्जी स्टेटमेंट स्ट्रेट
अरे
पहला
नहीं,
स्टेटमेंट
सर,
मुझे
ऐसा
लगता
नहीं है,
है
सर ऐसे नहीं है वो वी आर सेइंग कि मेरे बुक्स में 15 करोड़ का ही स्टॉक है और मैंने
15 करोड़ का आ गया आज
आप नहीं है
उस टाइम 8 ही करोड़ का था
उस दिन भी 15 करोड़ था
देयर पॉइंट इज डिफरेंट सर देयर पॉइंट इज
I know,
डिफरेंट ही सेड
positive, negative, both differences.
he said के they have put it कैसे नहीं देखा है यू आर राइट कोई देता नहीं है बिकॉज इट इज नॉट डेट्रीमेंटल टू द रीडर इट इज नॉट सम इंफॉर्मेशन विद द रीडर इज सपोज टू नो नॉट रिक्वायर्ड it is not you don't see any red flags in that I would really put it that way otherwise वो सर का जो point है ना internal control पे आपका question आ जाना चाहिए where I saw an inventory is the largest piece of the balance sheet वो तो आपका blood है right inventory तो blood है तो आप देख लो तो उसमें control में कैसे जा रहे हैं
Bank used to get the chartered account certificate of stock and debtors.
सर कितना बुलवाओगे मुझसे नहीं तो मैडम को ही पता है कि आरपी में आईबीसी में कितने चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट को नोटिस गई होगी आई डोंट नो सम ऑफ द यहाँ पे बैठे होंगे शायद पता नहीं है डिस्क्लोजर ऑफ नेचर ऑफ सिक्योरिटी shall be specified separately in each case the nature of security should be disclosed in each loan from every source so these are again a disclosures which is required must for any borrowing for equity also if you are remembering now there are lot of disclosures in equity also share equity shared separately reference separately under equity also different rights you have to separately you are supposed to write a line comment below differential rights then as I mentioned promoters holding then the shareholding more than जोर से बोलो 5% promoters holding में 5% का criteria नहीं है please keep in mind even if the promoter is holding 0.1% you are supposed to show common error common pitfall वो 5% दिमाग में रख के promoters को भी 5% लगा देते हो it's a different story in closely held company the promoters always hold more than 5% but in a generic sense PPE company shall disclose as to whether the revaluation is based on the valuation by registered valuer it's a must requirement as per the new amendments which is come as per the CARO, as per whatever come CARO 2020 also which has been recently now applied we are supposed to put in the financial statement also that it has been revalued by the registered valuer only and in CARO what is required is more than 10% then for each class you are supposed to disclose in your CARO report but you are supposed to give in the CARO loans and advances again this category is secured unsecured which have significant increase in credit risk and impaired risk. This is division 3 but yeah division 2 rather which is also must. We already talked about CWIP. So I was just asking which are the other agings which is required. One of them is this trade debtors, trade creditors. Anything else? So under capital work in progress is intangible. Somebody is mentioning intangible. Most important for which industry? IT, pharma, real estate, project under development. वो भी आ गया project under development. So you are supposed to give project under development also with the aging. तो आपको खुद ही पता चल जाएगा इतने ऑर्डर्स लेके बैठे इतने ऑर्डर्स लेके बैठे अभी कहाँ है दिख गया सामने. Now you read, you analyze. This is for same thing project which I mentioned. Inventories. This is common disclosures which is required is one is finished products, work in progress. Under that is manufactured component and semi-finished and intangible. So all this is under the inventory. You are supposed to disclose separately. You show it. I think one advice, it's a very painful advice, is when you prepare a balance sheet first or second time, schedule 3 पीछे रखो. एक बुक है गाइडेंस नोट ऑन शेड्यूल 3. 3 बुक निकाले इंस्टीट्यूट ने. डिवीजन 1, डिवीजन 2, डिवीजन 3. खाली 150-200 पेज के है एक बुक. पीछे रखो एंड यू कैन कोरिलेट. दैट विल गिव यू अ वेरी गुड. एक दो बार का पेन है बट या Manufactured component, I think continuation part of the first one. Stock in trade held for trading purpose, the same needs to be disclosed separately from other finished goods. So it's a trading goods needs to be separately managed. So manufactured goods and trading goods, I would just like to say. So don't put it everything as a finished goods in one bucket. You show your two component if you have it two different trading and manufactured goods. This needs to be shown. This is the reflection, grant or donation received in case of Section 8 company and others to be shown separately. Sale of scrap shall covered in other operating income under revenue from operation and not other income. If it is not from a रद्दी बस्ती, बाकी ऊपर रहेगा, रद्दी बस्ती वाला नीचे आएगा खाली बस. Very minute one, if you see this. Correct nomenclature is employees benefit expense or employee benefit expenses. Disclosure again, foreign currency expenditure, you are supposed to disclose as a general instruction in your balance sheet separately. What is the expenditure in foreign currency? What is your income, revenue from foreign currency? Value needs to be calculated. This was old, but this is again a reflection which is there in general instruction. Again a pitfall, many of the people don't do that. कितने को पता ही नहीं चल रहा है मैंने फॉरेन करेंसी में एक्सपेंडिचर कर भी दिया है, क्रेडिट कार्ड से कर दिया, वो फॉरेन करेंसी में चला गया था, पैसा तो INR से गया ना, वैसा बोलेंगे. पॉसिबल है, ऑडिट में पकड़ा तो ठीक है, नहीं तो गया. You will come to know only where there is a compulsive remittance certificate which is required. तो आपको पता चल जाएगा वो 15 CB सर्टिफिकेट गया है और आपको तो पता चल जाएगा, अदरवाइज थोड़ा डिफिकल्ट होता है. Salaries, wages. So I think we have spoken about certain topics of this. How exactly needs to be reflected. So separate fund is maintained of gratuity, then payout. All this is covered. We spoke already. Those who act as a consultant as well. So which expenses needs to be covered? I think this bullet number 4 is important. The term employee should be deemed to include directors who are either in full-time or part-time employment of the company. It will exclude those directors who attend only board meeting and are not under the contract of service with the company. That should not be part of our salaries cost. Those who act as a consultant or advise without involving the relationship should also be excluded. That's the point I think keep in mind. The contract of service and those engaged under the contract of service, the distinction to be made. Okay, I think. Okay, I am overshooting a time, 5 minutes. I am waiting for the next speaker. The moment one enters, I will start. Common pitfall in disclosure, schedule 3, contribution to provident fund, contribution to, so all retirement benefits, it's either contributing and non-contributing. So you have to be very, very careful. And of course, one important thing is if you know where the retirement benefit has this feature of contribution and non-contribution, your accounting policy also should support accordingly. Policy में लिखना चाहिए कि I have a defined contribution, a defined benefit or a contribution benefit. How exactly I have debited. Another thing, your policy should speak about short-term employment cost and a long-term employment cost. Short-term is your salary which you are giving on month-on-month basis, and long-term is also retirement benefit. Your 2 paragraphs should be separately shown in the policy. PPE I touched upon. Common error which happens is you are supposed to give the life of the asset. Right? Earlier we used to give percentage. Yet many balance sheets you see is with percentage. They simply say that, sir, SLM method है, 10 साल है तो 10% ही आएगा ना. That's not the requirement. The law requirement is life of asset. Schedule 2 needs to be followed. Schedule 2 talks only about life and not a percentage now. So you are supposed to write life only. The other error which they make is the life is defined as per law. Generic way they have decided and defined. किसी का 2-3 साल है, 5 साल है. But supposedly you feel based on my business cycle, I know the asset of my life. It can't be 6 years. It has to be depreciated in 3 years. This is an exception. You are supposed to write in the exception that the technical evaluation has been carried out. The word should come there. The technical evaluation is carried out. You as an auditor may go to the management asking, who is the technical person, बताओ मुझे. नाम तो लिख दिया, कौन है टेक्निकल इवैल्यूएशन, सर्टिफिकेट दिखाओ या मुझे उसका कुछ कम्युनिकेशन दिखाओ. So that may be an internal IT guy or maybe some external person. Second important thing, residual value. Anybody? What is the residual value allowed as per?
Up to 5%. Up to 5%.
0 to 5.
Up to 5.
0 to 5. Up to 5. So 0 is also allowed and 5 is also allowed. Anything beyond that, technical evaluation. Try क्या आप अपने रिपोर्ट में पॉलिसी में लिखो कि व्हाट इज द रेसिडुअल वैल्यू, बिकॉज इट्स अ मस्ट थिंग. एज पर देम देयर हैज टू बी सम रेसिडुअल वैल्यू ऑफ ईच एसेट. इट कैन बी जीरो, इट कैन बी जीरो. Many of the people, not many balance sheets have this concept of a minimum threshold of expensing the depreciation beyond 5,000, 10,000. Reliance का उठाओगे तो कोई और नंबर दिखेगा. Must, if you follow, right, must. Okay, last point, important one. Any penalties if you would have paid to these authorities is never a contribution, it's an expense. It should not be part of your salary cost. Common disclosures for the auditors, अपना भी चाहिए, दिखाना है, but this is must because this is looked at very minutely by many of the regulators. MAP would have also seen it. This is to derive our remuneration or our fees in lieu with the company CA Act. कितने लोग के peer review हुए हैं यहाँ पे? Anybody wants to raise hand? अरे जोर से सबने हाथ में खड़ा किया. अभी हुआ लगता है. थोड़ा टाइम पहले हो गया. Okay, एक ही है, दो है. So, okay, so then you give me answer, sir, in that point of peer review. What is the relevance of the audit fee versus your total audit and assurance fee? And what is the relevance of your concentration of audit fee from one client?
One client, that limit is that 10% limit from 1%.
One client. Okay. And what is this?
And through 40%.
And there is some limit for the same client, you do the audit service and other service.
If it is a listed company or a public limited company, then the audit not more than the audit fee.
Correct. So these are the concepts which is there. You have to keep in mind. So ये जो disclosure का requirement वो है कि अगर आप auditor हो, when you say auditor meaning as per the Companies Act the auditor and not as per the tax or tax thing. You are as a Companies Act being appointed as an auditor, and then you are giving various other services which is allowed, not as per section 144 disallowed item. Then you are giving these services and this services का fee to be shown separately. तो अपना रेडीमेड माल मिलेगा सबको कि भाई आपका ऑडिट फी कितना है और अदर सर्विस में आपने कितना लिया. सो टैक्सेशन मैटर्स आर अलाउड. यू आर अलाउड टू गिव टैक्सेशन सर्विस. यू आर अलाउड टू डू टैक्स ऑडिट ऑल्सो एंड सम अदर मैटर्स विच इज़ परमिसिबल. उसका फी का कॉम्पोनेंट, बट एज सर राइटली से टू द कैप ऑफ द नंबर ऑफ द ऑडिट फी. अदरवाइज इट्स अ वायलेशन. Expenditure incurred on CSR activity. We all know now CSR is prevalent as per Companies Act, applicability. Many are cases where they find that CSR note is not given. So note is must. There is a common disclosure which is required. How much is supposed to be spent, how much is spent, and whether it is from ongoing project, other than ongoing projects. So section 135, 5 and 6 ka disclosure is must. So same thing which I was mentioning. There is a table actually which is required. Again a disclosure point. Benami property, very difficult. Anybody has disclosed this in any of the balance sheet voluntarily? सर आपने किया? नहीं किया. अच्छा, हाथ खड़ा किया. मैं भी ढूंढ रहा हूँ कौन कर रहा है जल्दी. एक तो कोई मिले. एक्ट आ गया 3 साल नहीं 2 साल तो होने को आ गया. Okay, so this is what it is, but requirement. Rounding off, I have already spoken. कुछ तो लेना है. राउंड ऑफ करना कंपलसरी है, कोई चॉइस नहीं है. अदरवाइज इट विल बी ट्रीटेड एज नॉन कंप्लायंट. In fact, I don't know, Padma Shri would know, the next speaker, but there is a guidance note already published, or it's in disclosure, is where even for the SME segment, this compulsion of Schedule 3 kind of a presentation to uniformity of the balance sheet even for the non-corporate entities. And there also it's becoming mandatory now to make the round of balance sheet.
There is a technical guide.
That's what. So is it issued? No, I think it was in a draft mode. इतना राम पता है मुझे. Recommended.
Technical guide is
I think to my mind it was in the draft, but I don't know. But okay, चलो है तो उसमें भी ये round off है. So all those guys who are not doing compulsive listed or a big audits, तो छोटे audit में भी round off compulsory है. तो just please be aware. Painful activity, let me put it, because बड़े ऑडिट्स में उनके अकाउंटेंट है, उनके सीए करके देते हैं. यहाँ पे कौन करेगा मुझे नहीं पता है. So you have to build your fee accordingly. अदरवाइज करते बैठोगे राउंड ऑफ हॉरिजॉन्टल मैच नहीं हुआ, वर्टिकल मैच नहीं हुआ, वो होते रहेगा. Relationship with stock of companies, another point, a pitfall, gap, whatever you call it is, but must. You are supposed to disclose in our financials that if the company has not done any transactions with the stock of companies. Valuation I already mentioned. Ratios must. Choti balance sheet या बड़ी balance sheet, there is no differentiation. All the balance sheet should have, as far as division 1 and 2 is concerned, this 11, 1 to K. As far as division 3 is concerned, this 4, which is required. And as I mentioned, deviation 25% and above, the reason. What the reason is? Common reason दिख जाता है. Business बढ़ गया, business घट गया, बस हो गया. That's the answer which they give. I don't know how much that is warranted, और कल उठ के उसके भी question आएगा, be ready. Give some logical answers to it. I think some more listing probably, where I could not cover all the slides. So title deeds, disclosures, whether revaluation is based on, वो आ गया. Disclosure of the loan granted to promoters, directors, KMP to be shown separately. Capital and intangible under development was said part of it. Benami was part of it. Quarterly return we spoke. Willful defaulter, if we are declared, तो balance sheet में आएगा, कारों में आएगा. Relationship with stock of company we spoke. Satisfaction of charge with ROC, ये नहीं देखते हैं हम लोग. मतलब हम तो काफ़ी मिस कर जाते हैं कि ROC का चार्ज अगर हमने पेमेंट कर दिया तो चार्ज रिलीज करवाया कि नहीं और क्रिएट किया कि नहीं. पार्ट ऑफ द स्टैट्यूटरी रिक्वायरमेंट वी एज एन ऑडिटर. नंबर ऑफ लेयर्स ऑफ कंपनी, सेक्शन 186 मैंडेटरी, कारो पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू ऑल्सो, एंड वी हैव टू सी compliance with approved scheme of arrangement, utilization of borrowed funds and share premium. I think that's about it. Overshot, no? 315 था ना, I think.
With the transaction with the stock of
345 it was. Oh.
transactions with stock of companies, like all kind of transactions come to verify, or it's like a specific kind of, like you have a sale transaction?
You are not. You are supposed to give. Are you doing transaction with any stock of companies? Yes or no? So meaning you're supposed to see the companies which are struck off, and yet you have done the transactions with them.
Yeah, so to identify the companies being struck off, so then
MCA.
No, true, I understand. But all kind of transactions?
I don't think so
suppose
defined.
It's a large entity. I might have 10,000 vendors and 5,000 parties who are with whom I am dealing for my revenues.
So I'm not supposed to do. No, the process. So it's a process, but you are not supposed to. That's what when the company is struck off and you keep doing transactions.
No, I understand.
So systemic
In the
risk.
CA, suppose, how do we verify? That is what it is.
So as you mentioned, one of the large tool is tool. There is an API who helps that. Otherwise, तो see जिम्मेदारी किसकी है? First is client. So you will do the internal control. मैनेजमेंट कैसे निकालता है? जैसे मैनेजमेंट ही खुद नहीं निकाल रहा तो मैं कैसे निकालूंगा सीए? पहला पॉइंट. अगर मैनेजमेंट बरोबर निकाल रहा है, सो आप मैनेजमेंट के साथ बैठ के उसका प्रोसेस देखोगे एंड यू पुल आउट सम 50 केसेस, यू सर्च इन एमसीए एंड यू विल गेट दैट. सो आपका दूसरा प्रोसेस है. हाउ मच डीप यू वांट टू डू, or through API if it's a paid service and you want to do, depends on the size.
Can you throw some light on the rule given and disclosure under section 186 of the fiduciary?
Loan given to the loan to directors it is 185 186 में हाँ loan to.
So then you do give this one disclosure, so loan percentage and all that thing.
two layer. One is 2 layers. The other is loan to.
Anybody.
I don't recollect. Percentage.
Not percentage. Rate of interest and all that you have to give. Loan given.
Loan security or investment
Under section 186.
under section 186(4). There is a requirement to disclose the party's name, then the name
That is
of
to
transaction.
MCA, not in the balance sheet. I have not seen in balance sheet anybody shows this loan given to world.
We have this one election, sir.
You
Huh?
have to report in car hota hai.
No, sir.
Clause 3.
First of all, it is to be reported under financials.
Not the names.
The clause 3.
मैं तो कोई इधर नेम नहीं देखा हूँ. वो MC में see there are two things. MC में there is a report which has come up where you are supposed to show the outstanding and that should match with the balance sheet. And that's a return kind of a thing which is compulsory in MCA. What you mentioned is Caro. Caro 3 में loan given is to be given. If it is NBFC then it is exempt because it's a regular business. If it is a non-NBFC then you are supposed to give the number outstanding, not the party. Then you are supposed to put the default. अगर default हुआ है, किसी का लोन लिया तो covenant आपने breach कर दिया तो वो default का information दोगे कितने cases में आपने default किया. पार्टी तो कोई mention करने नहीं देगा. Otherwise I am opening my card.
This is the Companies Act का requirement.
I know, but if I remember, you show me one balance sheet जहाँ पे नाम लिखा है. कोई देने नहीं देगा.
नाम नहीं, लेकिन डिटेल तो देना ना 186 में. I think 186 section 4 it says the company shall disclose to the member in the financial statement the full particular of loan given, investment made or guarantee given or security provided.
That's coming. नहीं कारो तो है, but you are talking about section.
186 code.
Let me see. So I have to recollect my knowledge. But ठीक है.
This is why I am asking this, because it is also one of the pitfall. When I do a tax audit, I see some of the balance sheet where I am not an auditor, and we find this mistake.
Possible, sir. Let me connect my dots. I am not getting it right now, but I must have missed many slides, of course. No, I know, I understand.
उसमें question था that employee owned and all that, what is to be done, but ठीक है.
नहीं,
Employee का नहीं. Employee का नहीं आता. Exam employee is
There
exempt.
is a clarification.
What I remember is you are supposed to file MCA report so that matches, because आप नहीं तो क्या करोगे, जब तक वो report final करेगा, auditor आएगा, balance sheet change हो जाती है. So they made it compulsory, like this case, SME. Even SME there is a filing which you are supposed to do. So आप MSME का जब filing करते हो, the first thing which you ask from them is आपने report क्या upload किया वो दे दो. So आपको at least liability fix हो गया. So that's where you can correlate.
Income from investments.
Disclosure of that struck off companies.
Do you want me to take it? This one. Anybody question? So
Yeah.
yes, sir.
See, many a times in the computation of total income, we disallow, we add back certain expenses as personal expenses. Right? In the corporate sector also we do this, add back. Right? But under section 143(1), there is a one sub-paragraph which says that personal expenditure of directors or key managerial persons debited to the profit data, they are to be separately reported. So we don't find correlation between these two. You see, when we add back in the computation of total income, however, we do not report it under the Companies Act.
Section 143(1) में you are supposed to report.
Personal expenses of the directors, employees and key managerial person.
There is a requirement. Total company rating.
नहीं, आपने बताया ना कि you add back to the respective.
No, his point is, sir's point is, when he prepares the total income, he adds back. Because उनको पता पड़ गया कि भाई पर्सनल एक्सपेंडिचर का डिसअलाउ कर दिया.
Same motor car expenses.
पर आपके फाइनेंशियल्स में भी दिखना चाहिए, मतलब रिपोर्ट में दिखना चाहिए कि वहाँ पे क्यों नहीं है और हम इसमें there is a mismatch, right? So tomorrow he says कि आपने कैसे निकाला और वो ऑडिटर ने क्यों नहीं निकाला. For the point is valid. मैं तो कभी I have not come across any of such expenditure coming. वो तो पहले डिसअलाउ कर दिया, वो भी निकाल ही देगा. मतलब बुक्स में they will put it in these personal debit account. See, the point is, sir, if I correct rightly, says is it comes only if and only if it is debited to P&L. If it is not debited to P&L and it is debited in the books only to the directors or whoever personal account, then this matter doesn't arise. If you are saying that it is debited to P&L, then what you said is correct. Disclosure is required.
Motor car expenses, all these are debited to profit and loss account.
So sir, for you to decide whether this expenditure is incurred for business or no is the question. You have derived while filing a return of income that this is never a business expenditure.
For closely held companies, we know
Yes, sir,
that personal expenses
I-
personal elements are already there.
I may explain this. In the income tax for a safer side, small companies what they do के मोटर करता 10% अपने आप रिजर्व कर दो यानी असेसमेंट में प्रॉब्लम नहीं होगा.
सर वो you can't correlate
हाँ, so ये दोनों-
for the sake of ये नहीं होता उसमें. मतलब you have to really be so sure about. First of all, if you say कि it's personal expenditure तो खर्चा करने न मत दो. उनके डेबिट में अकाउंट में डाल दो. If it has been debited, then you have to challenge that auditor कि आपको क्यों लगा ये पर्सनल नहीं था और मुझे क्यों लग रहा है पर्सनल है. Then who will be right is the matter of judgment. क्लोजली हेल्ड में सर ये सब क्वेश्चन को आप मतलब आग लगाओगे तो जितना आग नहीं लगाओगे उतना अच्छा है. आई वुड पुट इट दिस वे, आप क्यों कर रहे हो इनकम टैक्स में, क्यों कर रहे हो ऐड? जस्ट टू सेव योरसेल्फ विद द असेसमेंट प्रोसेस. मतलब नहीं है ना.
Then there is one more thing which happens because of this.
हाँ.
Provision for tax which you do in the balance sheet is different by the time you file the return.
वो तो हर टाइम होना है.
But sometimes the differences are quite a bit.
परफेक्ट, वो भी हर टाइम
That
होना
also
है.
can be challenged.
That can be challenged, but it's always an estimation.
No, that's fine.
हाँ.
But your statement of total income which you make at the time of doing your financial statements, you do a rough estimate.
Rough, correct. So you go. So then I'll put it into two different buckets. One is the bucket where the company who is completing the balance sheet in April, May, and the one company, as you said, sir is saying उसका closely held बस इधर balance sheet sign किया और इधर return भर दिया. So zero difference. Zero difference, right? वो वाले केस में you will get a lot of difference, but not lot because historically they know in their computation what are the components. So वो component तो उठा के वो रख ही देते हैं. वो एक आधा कोई change हो गया ऐसा अभी ये this year which is the unique year के जहाँ पे budget की वजह से कोई impact आ गया and उनके they have to do it. It's a different story, but otherwise नहीं मिलना चाहिए majorly.
But normally for tax they take an aggressive position.
Exactly, that's
For,
coming to that.
financials,
The
they
second
will
point
have
is
a
that
control.
financials means it's a different division.
Again, that's what I'm saying.
Tax is different.
As far as financial is concerned, it's estimation. So you always be conservative, making more provision. वो बाद में reversal कर देंगे because जो होगा, which is right. हाँ. Yes sir, you please.
Slide talks about struck off company and all that. Nowhere does it say whether the accounting impact of all this has been given or not.
It is not required.
Because that's what. But do we need to?
Accounting.
Because the money, if the company is struck off, is gone. The money is neither receivable nor payable. Neither you want to make a loss nor you want to make a profit. All this is gone, no?
What is gone? Investment is. It
Because
is
the balance outstandings, whatever amounts are there,
may
are
go,
neither
may
receivable
go.
nor payable.
Neither nor may. It is struck off right now. Meaning उनका जो
Feel
process
after a
of
while it can
resolution
get restored or
resolution
whatever.
होगा. For what reason it is struck off, वो सब के बाद आपको output निकलेगा. So by that logic,
ठीक.
हाँ, what you can do from a financial perspective, which is not mentioned, is provision, which is in your hand. But if you feel there is a quantum which is sitting in my balance sheet on account of struck off, and as a management I want to be conservative, I want to make a provision of it.
The other reason why this came was that last column. What is your relationship?
Probably, like you said earlier, a question for the analysts, not necessarily the auditor.
Company actually is about the mens rea. of the
Mens rea,
management.
absolutely.
So based on the mens rea, then you actually go more deeper and identify.
You may have a small related party which has got stuck off for some procedural reasons.
Procedure, exactly.
That's-
That's the precise reason.
They have a transaction.
This is the precise reason they want to bring it out.
Yes.
That you are still doing transactions with such people. चलो last year कर दिया. See, there may be a scenario you did transaction in April, May, June. Stock off happened in August. What can you do? सर जब मैंने किया तब तो stock off नहीं थी. बाद में हो गई. I don't think कि वो साइट पे वो मिलता है date of stock off, पर चलो मिल गया. Now you should cut off. तो वो पर्पस है कि जिससे एटलीस्ट जितना खराब हो. Yeah. Thank you very much. I think we close in well time. Thank you very much.